Hey, what's going on everyone? Today we are going to talk about Dash. Dash is a Python open source framework or library that's used generally to create web-based reactive applications and data visualization interfaces. It was a library when it was first released in 2017 and it was on GitHub for 2 years. It was sitting there on GitHub for 2 years to determine the feasibility of the whole Dash idea and to verify that Dash will function as envisioned. Essentially, it was just a proof of concept. What I really like about Dash is that you don't have to know any advanced web development technologies to create your application. In fact, the technologies that form or constitute the Dash application are 3 different technologies: Flask, which is used for backend server, React, which is used for the front-end interface, and Plotly.js, which creates the different charts for whatever statistics or analysis that you're doing on your application. So Dash takes care of all of that for you. All what you need to do is to understand a set of rules while writing your Python code. And not only Python, by the way. Dash is supported by R and Julia languages as well, if you know any of those. So the company that built Dash is Plotly, and maybe you know that name, Plotly library for machine learning that generates line plots, bar charts, and so on. So Plotly is a company which is based in Canada and responsible of the development of the Dash framework. And if you will type plotly.com, you will have this page. So as we said, Plotly has open source Dash, which means it's free. You can use Dash at no cost, but it also offers a commercial version to Dash called Dash Enterprise. And this paid service provides companies with support services such as hosting, deploying, authentication on Dash applications, and so on. These features are outside of Dash's open source ecosystem. So if you're a company and want to make use of Dash Enterprise, you will be charged some amount of money in exchange of the premium features of Dash Enterprise. And you can take a look here to the different clients of Dash. You have First Republic Bank, Nvidia, Tesla, Shell, big names as you see. Okay, so you can build your application very easily. Build your Dash app in few lines of Python, R, or Julia code, as we said. Okay, you can deploy your application very easily. And then you have hyperscale here. You can deploy unlimited Dash apps to unlimited end users. So Dash Enterprise is the fastest way to elevate AI, machine learning, and Python analytics to business users. And I'm not trying to promote Dash Enterprise. It is what it is. I'm not gaining a penny of that. Take a look here. They have collected $30 million funding toward advancing open source data visualization and Python and R user interfaces. All right, plus 10 million downloads, 59,000 stars on GitHub, and 50 million users. So Plotly users worldwide are making data science and AI accessible to everyone. Even take a look, Standard & Poor's selects Dash Enterprise for data apps. Obviously, this is their promotion for Dash Enterprise, but we'll be working today with the free Dash library, okay? We will not touch the Dash Enterprise. Again, Dash Enterprise is working with the world's largest businesses such as BASF, Cisco, Tesla, Nvidia, okay, Air Canada. So you can see here big names. Enough with the Dash Enterprise. I would like to show you some of the very cool, interesting projects that were built using only Dash. So this is a dashboard to analyze trading positions in real time. And as you can see here that the indexes are changing, red for losing points and green for points gained. All right, another interesting project is the New York Uber rides, which is a visualization of millions of Uber rides in New York. All right, you can check out your location. You can select any location that you want. Of course, in the source code, you're going to just define these. These are not given. And also you can select the hour. And the last project is just a financial or interactive financial report. Okay, you get price performance, portfolio management, fees and minimums, distributions, and news and reviews. Okay, so you can create a full dashboard for your company, for your financial company. And you can take a look to the source code of that project and change it accordingly. All right, so in this very quick application we're going to be building, you will select a value in this drop down. So you have here Google, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Lenovo. These are the companies that we can choose from. And the code will dynamically export data from the Yahoo Finance services into Pandas data frame. So in the backend, we will be working with Flask, and the rendering of the page will be in React. And this chart is going to be provided by Pandas data reader. All right, it's simple as that. So let's change from Google to Apple. You'll find that the value has changed. August 13, 19, today is 22. So this is the last day. August 19th is $146.7 for one Apple stock. Let's take a look to Microsoft. It's 304, it's 20th of August, so it's $304.36, which is quite high. Let's take a look to Tesla. It's $709.82. It's very, very high. What was that here? The peak, it almost reached $900 per stock, almost. You can see 883.09. All right, so this is what we're going to be building now. Let's not waste time. Let's roll up our sleeves and get started. All right, so let me just go to desktop first, and I will create a folder. I will call it dash dot. Okay, and you will need to install a couple of dependencies. I've installed them already, but what you will need to install is dash, obviously, and pandas underscore data reader. Okay, go ahead and hit enter. You will install that and you will be ready to go. All right, and now let's go ahead and open our folder with Visual Studio Code. All right, so let's create a file. We'll call it main.py, and we're going to write a Flask application actually. Okay, and the rendering will be React. So if you have React DevTools in your Google Chrome, you will check it out. You will find all the React elements there, and you will not need to write React actually. Dash will take care of that. All right, so inside our main.py, I want to import dash. Also, I want to import input and output. Okay, so input and output are imported from dash.dependencies. So from dash.dependencies, I will import input and output. And the inputs and outputs are simply the properties of the application. Okay, Dash works around this idea of getting an input and generating a graphical output. Okay. Also, I want to import dash underscore core components, and I will give it an alias of DCC. Okay, so this is just a library that generates higher level components like controls and graphs and so on. And the idea will be clear once we will use it. Also, I want to import HTML, so import dash underscore HTML underscore components. And we'll give it an alias also as HTML. We need also data reader, so from pandas underscore data reader, I will import data as PD, as web actually. And the pandas data reader module is used to read data. It's as simple as that. Also, I will need datetime. So from datetime, date. I want to import datetime. I will give it an alias of DT. Okay, and we will be using datetime for time span. Okay, you will see what I mean later. Let's now create a dash application. So app equal to dash dot dash. So this is our main application. And we want to design a layout for that application. And we will use the dash HTML components module. And we will access div class. And in the div class, I want to have different properties. And here we will have our main layout for the page. Okay, so I will take the dash, oops. Let me actually put it on a different line. So I will take the dash core components. the DCC, and I will create a drop down. And that drop down will have an ID of my dash drop down. You can call it anything that you want, as long as it's meaningful, of course. Also, we'll have options, and the options will be equal to a list of different key value pairs. We will have a label and a value. So the label will be the name of the company that you're interested to check out its price. So for example, Google, and its ticker name, which will be GOOGL, for example. Okay, and we will need 4 more. And let me actually change Google to Apple. I want also Microsoft. All right, and that's it. I also want to have a default value, and we'll make it Google, for example. All right, this is for the drop down. We want also DCC for the graph. So we'll make it on the same line with the DCC.dropdown, but we want DCC.graph, graph with the capital G. Okay, we'll also give it an ID of my graph. All right, and that's all. Here, and before the ending parentheses, we'll give a style with a width of 500 pixels. All right, next I want to write a decorator. And let's write here the main block at the bottom. So if name is equal to main, I want to run the app or run the server, app.run_server, and we'll run it at the development mode where debug is equal to true. All right, now I want to write a callback decorator. And by writing this decorator, we will tell Dash to call the function that will come after that decorator. So at app.callback, and as a parameter, we will have 2 parameters. Actually, we'll have output and input. So the output with a capital O will be in form of graph. Okay, so we will use the my graph ID. And this is a figure actually. Okay, so this is as far as the output. For the input, we will use the my dropdown ID here because this is the input. This is where we're going to retrieve information from Yahoo Finance, and we're going to define that later. So input my drop down, and we'll take that from the value. All right, from these ticker values. And now let's create our function. I will call it graph, and graph will take a parameter or an input. We will call it selected drop-down value. So actually what we have done now is that we have told Dash to call the graph function whenever the value of the input component changes in order to update the children of the output component on the page. So we'll need data frame, right? And the data frame is equal to web.dataReader. And the data reader, we will take that input selected drop-down value as a first argument. The second argument will be Yahoo. It used to be Google, but there is something wrong with the Google Finance, so Yahoo is working perfectly. And then the time span. Okay, so we will need the date time. We have an alias for datetime here, the DT. Okay, so we'll use that DT, and let's start from 2018. So 2018 1/1. Okay, the 1st of January 2018, and the ending date will be till today, till this moment. So dt.now. All right, and what we want to return is data. So the data that we want to return will be in the form of XY axis. So the data here is going to be a list of key value pairs. The first key will be the X coordinate, and this is going to be equal to the data frame.index, and the Y axis or the vertical axis is set to data frame.close. All right, then we will have just a normal margin, and all of that is documented, guys. I'm not inventing anything from my head. These are just set of standard rules that you'll need to follow in order to get that layout. So the margin here will be set to also a set of key value pairs. So we'll need just to determine the layout in terms of pixels, left, right, top, and bottom. Okay, so let's start by the left, and the left will be set to 40 pixels. Then we have our right, which will be 0, top 20, and bottom 30. And that's all it is. So as you can see, with 42 lines of code, we have written a decent application that actually retrieves financial information for different stock prices. All right, so let's go ahead and open a new terminal, or you can just hit Control, Shift, and backtick. Python main.py. It's not data, it's date. Okay, Python main.py. All right, so opening at localhost port 8050. So go ahead and click that. So see here, serving Flask app main and debug mode on. So any changes that you will do, you will not need to interrupt the server in order to reflect the changes. The changes will be applied immediately. Okay, let's make that bigger. So we have Google, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Lenovo. Let's check out Lenovo. Okay, so as of August 23rd, 2021, it has a price of $21 only. Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's basically it. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.